Welcome to the AloKarma podcast, featuring the series of Hidden Heroes Spotlight Black Excellence. Here, I report on a variety of hidden heroes who are living in their purpose to advance, heal, protect, and advocate for the BIPOC community, highlighting historical figures and present-day heroes alike. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Jason Ray is the CEO and founder of Zenith Wealth Partners. He was a former Division I football player at Princeton University. He grew up between Detroit and Flint, Michigan, prior to moving to Philadelphia. And in addition to playing football, he played basketball and ran track. Jason took an interest in learning about financial literacy and working in the financial services industry. His inspiration to pursue this endeavor was the result of witnessing his parents lose their employment due to GM Motors going bankrupt. This led to financial insecurity, which sparked Jason's drive to become more knowledgeable about financial service opportunities. He gives credit to the disciplinary and team-building principles required in football as a core inspiration toward the work ethic in his financial services career. After college, he interned and eventually landed an official role at Lincoln Financial Group, where he specialized in creating products and solutions for financial advisors, including the incorporation of digital marketing and social media selling platforms. The birth of the idea for what is now his financial management firm, Zenith Wealth Partners, began in 2014 while he was employed with Lincoln Financial Group. He was motivated by the success of financial advisors and their committed relationships with their clients. While transitioning to a new employment role at FS Investments and working on a project for Carnegie Wealth Management, he acquired the technological skills necessary to develop and execute his own financial management firm. Jason identified a pattern of clients who typically benefited from financial services, particularly relating to accredited investors, and questioned how can he bridge the gap where these financial services and advising can be beneficial to the general public and smaller organizations, including nonprofit organizations. His core push for serving his community, after researching further the void in financial advising services for regular working and middle-class individuals, resulted in his mission to build Zenith Wealth Partners to contribute to the closing of the wealth gap between BIPOC communities and white communities by coaching and providing solutions to wealth planning, financial literacy, and management. Major shout out to Jason Ray and his team at Zenith Wealth Partners. Jason couldn't be a more fitting example of the epitome of Black excellence. He founded Zenith Wealth Partners in May 2019 in Philadelphia as the only Black-owned registered investment advisor in the country. And I have to shout out his business partner and co-founder, Chelsea Ransom Cooper, the Chief Financial Planning Officer, in trailblazing this inspirational business endeavor, combating racial wealth injustice. Their firm's mission is to eliminate systemic wealth inequality by delivering objective, accessible advice and creating financial success for their clients. 6 years to date, still growing strong, and they're working to expand their office locations geographically. It's beautiful, and I love it. What I want to talk more about is my own personal relationship with financial literacy and financial management. It is not a surprise nor a secret. The Black American community, we are least educated when it comes to financial literacy, financial investment, and financial management, which is why I really wanted to cover this feature with Jason Ray, because it's so applicable and so relevant to our community. For me, I lost my job in November of 2024 at a community college in Justly. And I will share that story at a later date. But when I lost that job, I had to fall back on an emergency savings fund. Now, how did I know to have an emergency savings fund? I have to give credit to my grandmother and my mother for teaching me the value of saving money. For years, I was not the person to spend money on flashy things. I was not the person to have the up-to-date tech, fancy clothing. I always saved money. And thank God I did. Because had I not, last year, and the nightmare and the trauma I endured from that job loss, right after, or actually during the election, where I couldn't even focus on that, I had to focus on what I was going to do about money, because I didn't want to lose my apartment and I didn't want to lose my security. You know, I was thrusted into survival mode after that experience. And thank God that I had the wisdom to put money back. And for about 6 months, I survived off of a savings while I was working to figure out my next move, working to figure out what I'm going to do about income. Thankfully, by April, a solution came about after a lot of networking, a lot of reaching, a lot of working, applications after applications. I got myself back on track financially. And like I said, that's a story for another time. But I highlight that to say, if I had not had the level of financial literacy that I did have to survive and protect myself in the event of what took place last year in November, my story would have been completely different. Like so many other people of color who suffer job loss, and especially suffering job loss unjustly. And with the political climate that we're in right now, and all this division and racial tensions in this country, and misogyny, and the list could go on, it's so important to be able to cover yourself. Shout out to Zenith Wealth Partners and Jason Ray for doing incredible work. I will share his website in the description box so you can learn more about Zenith Wealth Partners. And before this video ends, I'm going to share a clip of Jason sharing his advice on how we can navigate the impact of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act passed in July of this year, 2025. Thank you so much for listening. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And hit the notification bell so that you don't miss the next episode of Hidden Hero Spotlight Black Excellence.
All right, let's cut through the noise. Congress just passed the 2026 Big Beautiful What? Also known as HR 1, and it's going to reshape the financial playing field for people trying to build wealth and organizations trying to build a better future. This isn't just another tax suite. It raises the standard deduction, it lets you deduct tips, overtime, and even auto loan interest. And if you're over 65, you get a bigger bonus deduction. If you're a parent like me, there's a $2,200 child tax credit. And if you're wealthy, the estate tax exemption just got even more generous. So who wins from this? People earning over 6 figures, people who own businesses, and folks who have generational wealth. This bill is built for you. You get more ways to shelter income, pass down wealth, and reduce your tax bill. If you make under $50,000 or rely on federal programs for childcare, housing, or justice-centered work, there's less in it for you. This bill slashed funding for equity-focused programs such as LGBTQ+ housing, racial justice education, and the entire Minority Business Development Agency. They're all gone. That is a blow for mission-driven organizations trying to level the playing field. Further, inflation's likely to rise, interest rates will probably stay high, and the US dollar could weaken internationally as deficits grow here in the United States. This means your borrowing costs for things like homes might not come down anytime soon. But if you're strategic, you can still win. Here's what I suggest doing. Don't wait for support that's not coming. Get loud and get smart. Max out the deductions you qualify for. Invest in income-generating assets. And if you run a nonprofit, tighten your capital strategy, seek new funding partners, and find ways to work around what's been cut. This bill favors ownership and leverage. So own something, leverage something, and make sure you're playing the game on purpose, not by default. That's how we'll win from this. Thank you.